so much. I love you so much. I love you so much.
Hello, all you positive heads out there. Thanks for tuning your beautiful brainwaves into another episode of the Positive Head Podcast, where we are firmly convinced that creating success and happiness is rooted in understanding the ultimate nature of reality and the fact that as human beings, we are all immensely powerful fractals of the one and only source consciousness, which creates and animates all things. Now, of course, understanding this powerful truth is one thing. Applying this incredibly empowering wisdom to everyday life? Well, that's another, which is exactly why we provide you with a fresh serving of soul food for thought 5 days a week to help constantly remind you of what matters most. You are it. And I'm your host, Brandon Beecham. I'm the reflection and extension of you who will be here each Wednesday interviewing a different consciousness changemaker. And on the other 4 weekdays, leading the way to ensure that your perspective is consistently expanded, your vibration is constantly elevated, and your heart is overflowing and full. Also, before we jump into today's episode, I'd like to take a moment to tell you about a few sponsors that not only help to make it possible to produce this show 5 days a week, but that I'm also genuinely passionate about promoting. Especially since they're helping to fund all the cool projects we have in the works, such as the Positive Head app, the docuseries that I'm intending to begin shooting within the next year, and whatever else we dream up over here at Positive Headquarters to help spread consciousness across the planet. Now, if you're short on time or just super excited for today's topic and want to dive right in and skip these ads, feel free to fast forward about
2.5 minutes
to get right into today's show. That being said, I strongly encourage you to listen because the reason I'm passionate about my sponsors is because they've made a huge impact in my own life, which is why I've aligned with these organizations. And I firmly believe they can do the same for you too. The first longtime stellar supporter of the show that I want to mention is Gaia. If you're not familiar, Gaia is the go-to source for streaming consciousness content online with over 8,000 video titles. And you can sign up for your first month for only 99 cents at gaia.com/positivehead. That's spelled GAIA.com/positivehead. The second sponsor I'm extremely passionate about promoting is Purium. The reason I've aligned Positive Head with Purium is because I wholeheartedly stand behind their mission to end human suffering by making superfoods easily available to everyone with the ultimate goal to help restore mankind's harmony with nature in the process. I mean, what a noble mission, right? It's no mystery that you need to bring your mind, body, and spirit into balance if a person truly intends to manifest the greatest and grandest version of themselves. And for me, for years, I honestly felt like I was ahead of the curve in the mind and spirit category, but I was only average at best in the level of care I administered to my body. Sure, I was healthy-ish when it came to the food I put into my system, but after doing a Purium 40-day transformation with a 10-day metabolic reset and cleanse, I can honestly say I have reestablished my relationship with food in a very positive way. Not only did I drop the extra weight that I was carrying as a natural byproduct of the transformation so that I'm now at my ideal body weight, but I continue to feel like my best self by starting every day with an organic Purium power shake that is made from raw superfood ingredients that were meticulously harvested, thoughtfully combined to optimize the nutritional impact it has on my body. I view the shake as plant medicine, really, and it happens to taste really delicious, and I can make it in about 30 seconds. There's actually 4 core Purium products that I take every day, and honestly, I intend to do so for the rest of my life for a very scientifically sound reason. And if you want to learn more about those reasons, you can go check out my video at positivehead.com/transformation, where I go into more detail. If you end up buying any of the Purium products, be sure and use the code POSITIVEHEAD, all one word, for a 25% discount. All right, all you positive heads, welcome to a terrific Tuesday here in the studio as I record yet again It is, actually, it truly is yet again. For some reason, my computer just crashed. I was like 10 minutes into this episode and it completely crashed out of nowhere. It was pretty odd. But obviously, I'm supposed to take it over. So we're starting over. And, interesting. It's a start over, but also an ending in a certain sense. I'm going to be reading from Oneness, the final chapters. And it looks like here, funny enough, the last time the random number generator gave me chapter 44, the final chapter in the book. We just had Rasha on the show last week, the author of Oneness. And right after that, I read chapter 44. Well, all that's left, it looks like, I just realized, is chapter 1 and chapter 22. Those are the only ones that I haven't read from over the last year or so. So very kind of synchronistic there. You have chapter 44 last week. Then this week, because one is so small, I'm going to read them together and kind of complete this journey. But it's the first chapter, the middle chapter, and we did the last chapter last week. So, yeah, pretty cool how that played out. It has definitely been a journey. And if you guys would like to go back and listen to my interview with the author of Oneness, you can do that. It was episode 752. And yeah, it has been an epic journey. And for those of you who haven't ever caught any of my readings from Oneness, it's a book that I like to view, I kind of refer to as the guidebook for ascension. It was received and transcribed by Rasha, who was on episode 752 back in 1998. And it's just fascinating reading. Definitely shifts your perspective, as the iTunes review I'm going to read today too talks about, references it, how it shifted their perspective. But yeah, it's, as you continue down this journey of expanded awareness, becoming your next greatest and grandest version of yourself, there's certain things that you can sort of expect on the way, I would say. And this book really kind of prepares you for that. You're having your own unique journey, but there's also certain signposts, right? Crossroads that you're going to come to as you expand. And this book, that came through Rasha in 1998 is absolutely just so powerful and profound. And so it's bittersweet to be coming to an end, although she did tell us that there's a book 2 forthcoming. So we'll have to read that, and maybe I'll find something else to read, next. I have some ideas about that. It's something that I really enjoy, a book where I can pick a random chapter and just kind of discuss it with you and share it with you all. And like I said, as this iTunes review I'm about to read, Nick Ackley said, this podcast changed my life. Thank you, Brandon. Hearing Brandon read from Oneness has completely shifted my thinking. I got divorced and moved back home in May. This has been an extremely challenging transition for me. I felt my body and mind getting perpetually stuck in undesirable states that seemed to have no end. I needed to find a different way of rethinking everything in my life. Thankfully, the universe drew me to type in positive into the podcast search. What has happened in my life since has been nothing short of remarkable. Brandon's reading of Oneness has allowed me to see my life through an entirely different lens and has now given me the mental and emotional clarity I needed to achieve positive growth forward in my life. Now everything is coming together for me. I met a sweet, sensitive man that I feel an amazing connection with. This is what I was vibrating outward. The planets are now literally aligning around me, and all of this is happening seemingly with no real effort on my part. I am eternally grateful for the Positive Head podcast. You saved my life and have now expanded it to a level I hadn't dreamt. Thank you, Brandon and Positive Heads community. I love you so, so, so much. We are the Oneness, and we have come to guide you home. Oh, I love the way Nick ended that off. We are the Oneness, and we are all just walking each other home. And it is such a beautiful experience. And as you sort of stop resisting and trust, as Nick did, hey, yes, it was challenging. It sounds like what Nick went through, but, it is happening for Nick, not to Nick. Right. And that's the important thing. Now, even a better connection has come into Nick's life, and on it goes. So when you trust this is the process, this is always the process of your unfolding life. It's always happening for you and not to you. That's the biggest game changer. One of the biggest game changers. It's instead of viewing it as you against the world, it's you with the world. And it doesn't mean it's always going to be easy. For, a sword to be made, it has to get heated, right? It's not necessarily an easy process. It's not necessarily an easy process for the butterfly to be born from the caterpillar, right? But it's worth it. And that is your life. And that's why you came. That's why you came to this life. So definitely an exciting time to be alive, especially armed with that truth, that knowledge, that wisdom as you guide through whatever may come. A master embraces whatever shows up because they know it's exactly what they need. Their higher self has put it there. It's to become the next greatest and grandest version of themselves. So they are courageous as you step forward into the unknown, right? And that's what we're all collectively doing here. And I'm so happy to have you on this journey with me. And as Nick referenced, the Positive Heads Facebook group is a great place to connect with other listeners, to ask questions. You can write questions to me at brandon@positivehead.com. I'm happy to take those as well. And it's definitely get in there if you're not in the Positive Heads Facebook group. And also write a review on iTunes if you haven't done so already. I love, love, love getting those reviews from you guys. It helps to fuel my fire and certainly helps us to reach new people. And one fun way that you can actually do that, I always recommend, is asking if you have friends or family that you think would benefit from the show, but don't really know how to, breach the subject with them, or you don't think they'll just kind of blow you off. One fun way to do that is ask them to choose a number between, as of this recording anyway, there's 750, this will be the 756th episode. So say, hey, I got this great show that's making a difference in my life. I think it will for you too. And I challenge you, pick a number between 1 and 756. They'll look at you like you're a little crazy. They then give you a number. You tell them to just do it. Then you send them that episode and see how you and the show and the universe can co-create them getting a message that is suitable for them. And a lot of times people will react to that because it's fun. It's like playful. It's like, now I'm curious. Okay, let me listen to this thing. Maybe there is something to this. So that's just one way I encourage you guys, gals, extraterrestrials out there listening to share with other people. Oh, and one other thing before I do jump into reading from today's chapter 1 and chapter 22, I want to throw out is there's also a new group that I've created for those of you who are participating. Over 100, almost, I want to say close to 150 people have participated in the 40-day transformation with the 10-day metabolic reset and cleanse through Purium that I'm like 90 days in of taking the Core 4 every day. It has definitely changed my life. And so, not wanting to inundate the Positive Heads Facebook group with that sort of stuff, I thought I would just create a separate page, and that's Positive Plant Posse. You can find that group, and we'll be talking about all things health, wellness. For those who are doing the Purium cleanse, share and connect and ask questions and all that sort of stuff. Like I said, for me, it's cost about $6 a day taking the Core 4 products that I'm taking. I challenge any of you to give it a try and just replace the money you're spending on Starbucks or, fast food or whatever junk food you maybe, your naughty pleasures, like replace those with these products and just see how you feel. It's really been a game changer for me. And speaking of, and then I'll get into reading, I had someone on the Positive Heads Facebook group mention it. He's like, I'm seeing a lot of talk about this on here and someone's making a lot of money, and as the ad says, as I talked about at the top of the show, it's like, this is, for me, the best way to support this show as we expand and do all the things that I'm working on doing with something that elevates your physical vibration. It's something I've wanted to call in for a lot of years, and I'm very confident that I found it here. So, that person saying that, I just want to sort of respond to that as money is very, very secondary for me as far as this goes. I'm have a lot of other entrepreneurial ventures. This show's never been about monetization. It's something that comes as a natural byproduct of doing something that you're really passionate and love. And this show certainly could use the support, right? There's a lot of cost as we expand, but that being said, I'm such a passionate, firm believer in this 40-day transformation that I encourage all of you to do, that I'm willing to sort of put my money where my mouth is. If there's someone out there who, you're financially struggling and you would like to do it, I'm willing. The show gets 20% of whatever you spend with Purium stuff. I'm willing to refund that back to you via PayPal or Venmo or whatever, if that's really the difference, right? Obviously, the show loves having your support, and I can't go back retroactively to people who bought in the past or whatever, but I'm feeling inspired in this moment just to really show that person, like, it really is not about that for me. I'd much rather it's not about the money. I'd much rather you take the product than not, whether the show is benefiting in any way financially or not. That, I truly, truly align and believe in it so much. And that's why, I've talked about it as much as I have. And of course, that's why I also want to create this separate page so we can sort of, those who really are in it and doing it can focus on that. And for those of you who want to learn more, of course, you go to positivehead.com/transformation and you can learn all about it. But yeah, on a go forward, anyone who hears this, money is tight. I'm happy to refund the 20% if that makes the difference to you, because I'd rather you take the products than not. And I would not want money to get in the way. I want you all to, I'm giving it to my parents. My parents are doing this, my sister, my son, everyone I know. I'm like, you got to try this stuff because it's such a simple way to get high vibe superfoods into your system every day as your foundation. And then, for me, as busy as I am, it makes a huge, huge difference to have that, starting each and every day that way. So, all right. Well, let's jump right in here. Chapter 1 of Oneness, Bittersweet. We're coming to the end. I'm going to read chapter 1, which is really short, and then do chapter 22, as I mentioned. So, and those of you who would want to, who accept that challenge and would like to get your 20% back or whatever, if you buy it from me, just email me, Brandon@positivehead.com, and I'll figure out how to PayPal or Venmo you for it. Any of you that maybe want to do that. And I don't know that I can extend this forever, but at least anyone who within 30 days of me recording and releasing this episode, I'm willing to offer to do that, because any of you that are on the fence out there, I want to see you. I want to see you get the benefit that I and so many others have received from this. Oh, and make sure that you use code POSITIVEHEAD, all one word, if you do buy anything. At either you can link through positivehead.com/transformation or ishoppurium.com. Either way, and just use the code POSITIVEHEAD to make sure you get your discount as well, above and beyond the kickback that I would give you. Chapter 1, Oneness. We are oneness. We are the embodiment of the God force, as are you. We are as a drop of water is to the ocean, bonded in oneness to it, being of it and unto it, yet having identity and self-perception. The perception of self would be as the totality, the all-encompassing, the antithesis of limitation in all respects. It is towards this pinnacle of focus that you strive in the present moment, regardless of whether you are aware or unaware of such concepts. In uniting in oneness with all creation, you give full expression, in the context of linear form, to the multidimensionality that is your true state of beingness. By consciously recognizing the connection and allowing its unlimited expression through your form and through your consciousness, you open the door to the possibility of expansion and encompass the understandings and perceptions and characterize those states of being. It is towards that state of bonded union with the expanded levels of self that you strive in these times. By virtue of the fact that you are drawn to reading these words, you are functioning at a heightened level of awareness. Your perceptions and understandings regarding the nature of reality would by now have transcended what most concede to be the nature of what is. What is or is not has come to be the focus in your culture or considerable speculation. Some would have you believe that what you perceive as your reality is merely an illusion, and though your perceptions are symbolic representations of the thought forms that precipitated them, they are most decidedly real. Your experience, the reality as your senses have shown it to be, is real. Your world, the reality that your actions and thought forms have manifested in tandem with the others who cohabitate it, is real. And your instinctive sensing of your own connectedness to the tapestry of life, which is not discernible to the physical senses, is very real indeed. It is toward the exploration of those connections, toward the understanding of a destiny that is interwoven of intent and desire, that we strive mutually. Reality, as you would know it to be, will cease to be. You will not experience the shift that is to come as loss, though the circumstances that will transpire might indicate that interpretation. For in shifting to a higher octave of perception, you will come to embody, in the moment of that shift, the awareness and the innate understandings that accompany the heightened states of beingness toward which your energy flows at an unprecedented pace. You will begin to experience glimpses of that expanded reality as you move closer to the shift in consciousness to come. You will be able to see aspects of reality that most, whose perceptions are limited to the physical senses, are unable to sense. You will know the nature of your unlimited state of being without having read about it in books or heard the concepts spoken of by those who herald visions and prophecies of a new paradigm. You will ultimately defer to no one as you come to be empowered and to experience yourself as the aspect of the oneness that you indeed are. The enhanced perceptions to come will serve as a foundation for transcending those perceptions entirely, for they are limited to a view of a reality expressed within the context of time and space. The reality toward which you flow effortlessly, if you allow it, is unbound by the linear concepts of time and space. It is a reality where physical perception, by definition, is superfluous. It is the result of a melding, a bonding, a joyful unity of the totality of your essence in harmony with what is now perceived to be others. Ultimately, there will be no distinction between the perception of self and that of others, for all will be oneness. We are that oneness. We are the unity of all that is. We are the unity of which you are indeed a part, and toward the experience of which you strive, whether knowingly or not. We are your heart's longing to reunite with the source of your beginnings. We are your deep-seated dream of bonding with the fragmented aspects of your own essence, scattered since time immemorial throughout creation. And we are the impetus towards that unification. We are the invitation that calls you to action and awakens you from the stupor you call your life. We are the opportunity to purge yourself of the karmic baggage you carry as a testimony to the state of separation you embody. We are the farthest reaching cry of your very soul to have the self-imposed blinders removed that you may be permitted to truly see. We are the aspect of your own selfhood that transcends every level throughout creation, yearning in unison with you to be freed of the shackles of a reality defined by linear limitation. We are the ultimate end result of what has been referred to as ascension. We are as you are, and as you are yet to be. You are a piece of divine essence with consciousness, with identity. You are a fragment of your own expression and experience of the one. You are a programmed time capsule that is coming to fruition on schedule, having harvested a wealth of physical experience on your journey. Ultimately, the understandings reaped from those adventures will have turned you toward an undisputed attunement with the higher vibration that resonates within you now. You have begun the process of unraveling the threads that have been interwoven throughout your lifetimes in the dream that you regard as your reality. And you have achieved a measure of clarity that enables you to recognize amongst your life dramas a commonality of intent and a commonality of result that has shaped the identity that you recognize as you. Far from view are experiences that would transcend in their depth of perception the awareness you garner from present experiences. Far from view, yet firmly entrenched beneath the surface of your awareness, are experiences of ancient incarnations whose influence helps to choreograph the dramas of your life. In many respects, that which you are is a resonance of the sum total vibration of all you have ever been. The opportunity afforded you in this lifetime is to transcend some of that programming. The opportunity before you now is to embody your history and simultaneously to reach for and to integrate the timeless aspects of self that have thus far eluded you. In so doing, you will experience yourself as the oneness that you are. And you will come to be that oneness in conjunction with the full collection of every aspect of you. Aspects that are what you are in their core essence, but recognize themselves as separate from you. This is the process at hand. This is the momentum towards which you strive with all else in your reality and beyond your reality in these times. This is the journey you have undertaken by coming into form in this lifetime. And this is the journey that could take you beyond the limitations of form in this lifetime. This is the journey that will carry you the full distance beyond the parameters of the entire concept of a lifetime to a state of being that is the embodiment of timelessness, a state of being known as oneness. We are that oneness, and we have come to guide you home. Wow, what a powerful chapter 1. Actually, it was a little longer than I thought. I remembered for some reason. So I'm looking here. And chapter 22 is kind of long, so I think what I'll do is hold off onto that and do that one next week or the following, and then we'll be completed because, otherwise this would turn into a really long episode. And that's a lot to just gestate on right there and think about. And what I will do is I'll share a story. I just met someone recently who is talking about their journey with the plant medicine ayahuasca, and they had this fascinating story of how they actually went into their experience and they were shown it was all of a sudden they got the option to like sort of travel and see the future, essentially, future timelines, future, happenings. And so they said that in their experience, and it was a very powerful journey in their case, as they recounted. I won't recount all the things they shared, but it was very, very powerful and very intense. And they ended up going 1 million years into the future. And what they had said had happened was that there was a sort of a split in humanity is what they saw. And there was these version of humanity. And I've heard this said time before. And for some reason, reading that all just made me think of this. So I just want to, I love sharing juicy stories. And so they said that what they were shown was this sort of split in humanity where some people, some of us had went very AI integrated with technology, almost cyborg type, and another facet of humanity went very spiritual and very spiritually tapped in beings and speaking telepathically and like blue hair and like glowing kind of. And I thought that was really fascinating to consider. And, something that I've thought about often, and I've even had conversations recently with people talking about this, as technology becomes so prevalent, really wanting to tap into the organic technology more and more that we all have, which is, our spirituality, right? You've got the ultimate Wi-Fi. You've got the ultimate downloadability through your higher self and meditation and, all these things. And I think it makes sense to me. That vision, I'm not saying it is or isn't true. I don't know. But I think that vision makes a lot of sense, that there could be people who go very AI, very, integrating technology with biology, and those who become more and more, spirit-centric and organic and, have a different set of unfolding that happens as a result. So I think I'll vote for my timeline, my DNA, my ancestry to go the spiritual route. I don't know about you guys, but I'm sure it's all good and all divine either way, if it is indeed the case. Then this person said that said they had the option. They were given the option. Okay, we can explore this reality. And he said, this 1 million years in the future, some of the things were hard to interpret and understand because they were just operating. These humans were operating on a totally different level. And he was given the opportunity to explore further in that realm or jump even further. And he opted to jump further. So then he went 1 billion years into the future. And that is really fascinating because he said a lot of that was very hard for him to interpret and understand what he was seeing. We were like these blue orb type energetic beings that were floating in space and interacting with planets and stars and, all these energies between us and these celestial entities. And a lot of it, he said, was like very, he just didn't understand exactly what he was seeing and how to interpret it from his perspective on, reality. So what a fascinating, I found that really interesting because if you think back to the Gaia show, Cosmic Disclosure, they talk a lot about these blue sphere beings that are, a lot of times you hear about, what we think are ETs or whatever, future us traveling back. And I remember Cosmic Disclosure and Gaia talking about these blue sphere beings that are in our solar system right now and that have come here. So it's funny that he had that kind of an experience where we were these sort of blue sphere beings. So very, very fascinating story anyway, whether or not it's true or not. It just made me think of it, as this chapter 1 talked about as we merge with these expanded versions of ourselves. And I do believe one way or another that is what's unfolding and will continue to unfold for us. And that's a very exciting thing to participate in. I know I've become more than I was and will continue to do so. And I know you're doing the same. As our reviewer earlier, same. It's happening. It's all happening. And you are floating in eternity, and you are a divinely supported, loved being that is one with it all. You cannot lose. And it is such a pleasure to play along with you all. As always, we will, sorry for the false alarm on chapter 22, the final chapter that I will read. And if any of you want, I'll do that another time in the coming week or weeks. And then any of you who want to go back and hear any of the other chapters, go to positivehead.com, go to the podcast page, search Oneness, and it'll pull them all up and you can play them, because they're scattered over the last year and a half. I've been reading from this book. So, all right, that's my story. I'm sticking to it. I do have a song to leave you with, a song that I really, really love and that seems appropriate for today's topic, Life-Bound Friend by Ayla Nerio. I love this song. I actually had a very powerful experience with this song when I saw her perform it live years ago. I'll save that story for another day, but it was very, very powerful. And this is a remix of it by Random Rab. And hope you enjoy Life-Bound Friend, my life-bound friend. Till next time, journey well. Love you all. Also, if you're craving more consciousness elevating content, be sure to check out Gaia, which is my personal go-to source for streaming consciousness content on the web, where you can stream an incredible 7,000 plus exclusive videos covering 5,000 years of wisdom. As you all hear me constantly say, it's a daily conscious effort to maintain an elevated vibration. And if you're looking to journey deep down the rabbit hole to do so, then Gaia is the best place I know of to do it, period. And you can sign up for your first month for only 99 cents at gaia.com/positivehead. That's spelled GAIA.com/positivehead. Check it out.
your